Hi, we're going to talk here about paper records in the dental office. In dental charting, you're going to talk about just what and how to record in a patient's chart. Here, we're just going to talk about the legalities of it and the formality of actually keeping paper records. In today's world, everything really is going digital, but you will find an office that maybe still has paper records, so we are going to review it. One of the most common problems with having paper records is misfiling. Patient comes in, you can't find their chart, you can't find their x-rays, can't find their history. It might be buried on the doctor's desk or misfiled. Knowing how to file, you go first by the patient's surname or their last name. And if you have two with the same last name, then you go to their first name or their given name. And if you still have two that are the same, then you go by their middle name or their middle initial. And if it's still the same, which is a lot common with people that are juniors or seniors, and so you'll use that title. Other common errors are like McDonald's or McNeil. Do they spell it M-A-C or M-C? And St. John. Saint is supposed to be filed under S-A-I instead of the S-T abbreviation. And then you also have the hyphenated names. You have to know which one is really their first. If it's Brown-Smith, then it would be under Brown. So what do the patient's chart contain? They contain their medical and dental histories and their exam treatments. Anything that corresponds to the patient's records and their care, their prescriptions, their lab orders, and your x-rays. Patient's charts are legal documents and involve confidential issues. Anything you just kind of reviewed about HIPAA, everything in here is confidential. I can't stress that enough. Okay, and so you have to be careful what you write in the chart. You saw a funny little video of Seinfeld and what they were writing in the chart. Of course, you can't write things like patient is not nice in a chart. These are legal documents that could hold up in court someday if you needed to. Contents, these also belong to the dentist, but a patient has a right to have a copy of it. So even if the patient can't pay for a copy, you have to say, here, you have a right to a copy if they ask for it, and they have to ask for it in writing. Sorry, went the wrong way. So transfer records. Why do we transfer this? For a lot of different reasons, for a referral or a patient's moved, and so the original always stays with the doctor, for the first dentist, and just copies are sent. The original x-rays are also kept with the office. Even at Porter and Chester, you may or may not have had radiology yet. You're having it this term. You'll find when you go to take x-rays on a human patient, you're going to have duplicates, doubles, and so you don't have to expose the patient twice. You don't have to take two series. You have this double set. One stays with PCI because that's the original house where they were, and then the second one will go to the doctor's office. Reasons for transfers. We kind of talked about this. And it must be written consent form from the patient to transfer these records. And there's times that you don't need a written consent form. And this is the same with HIPAA, that why you can break that HIPAA is for court orders, any kind of abuse, for military, for insurance fraud, or workman's compensation. And they are protected. The original must not be taken out of the office. We just talked about that. When not used, put in a proper place. So always file them. You'll see offices that you go in and there's just piles and piles of files, patients' files. That's why digital is so great and so neat. It says pack records tightly together for slow fire damage. I mean, that's just, I don't even have to talk about that. No, let's have a better thing than just having your files be exposed to fire. So if you have it backed up on a computerized records, so much better. So there's categories of records. There's some that call vital, and they cannot be replaced. And so that's the patient's clinical records, or something like a deed to the office, deed to your house, those are vital. Important. A canceled check, important, but you could always get something from the bank. Um, Inventory, payroll records, yes, but again, you could have something that could back that up. Useful, different in each office. Employment application, expired insurance policy, petty cash. So these are useful to have. They wouldn't be in the patient's records, but they would be in the office files. And then there's unimportant, and those are notes or memos, and those you're probably just going to put in that circular file. Types of records. There's clinical, information regarding patient's treatment, registration form, health histories, consultation, referral reports, and consent forms. Consent forms are really important, that they are signed and that they're documented. And again, you're going to go over this in charting, but always think about what you're writing is not only for the doctor to go back to refer to the next time he sees this patient, but it's also a legal document. So you have to write down. If you don't write it down, it never happened. And then you have the financial report. The end of the day reports. Again, these are not in the patient's charts. These are just office records. So a life cycle of a patient's chart. So you created it when the patient came in, and then the chart's given to the doctor for diagnosis, and then it's used to evaluate the diagnose, the treatment, or refer. Maintenance, should information be saved, of course. And then disposable. Charts cannot be thrown in the trash, so after they have to be maintained forever. And here you would see, this is why we go digital. Paperless office. You'll learn how to enter information in the patient's chart electronically. Thank you.